Okay, one down, one to go. Lucky for me, the grain is running this way, so I didn't dig in. Let me get the other one. And the grain is running the other way. So I've got to be careful with this one. And the first thing I'm going to do here, let's get a wider chisel and make this line. And then just take this off gently. Pretty close. It's close. That did a little diving on me. Well, it's not bad, but I probably have a little sawdust fill in there. You can see a little gap there right in that corner. Right down here where she started to dive on me. Anyway, there you are. 2 mirror images. And I'll cut those pieces to fit into those rabbits. I got my shooting board set up to make the final pass on these ends to get them to the proper length. And I noticed, I hope you can see those those lines, those serrations from my blade as I was making these passes. So I flipped it over, did the other side just to make sure it was consistent, and it was. So I took the time, took my blade out, touched it up, and now that is what I'm looking for. Nice clean cut. So we're good to go now. So I'm just taking the time here to make sure that I get a nice square end, and then I'll check it for length. And yeah, that's delivering a nice clean cut. Beautiful cut. And I'll take this down until I get the length I want. You can see over here, I've got this temporarily set up and clamped in place. And these are flush. I can't say that they're perpendicular, but I'm just going to check it on the bottom here is what I'm going to do. Get something in there. Until that just sneaks in. I've probably got a 32nd of an inch to go. So I'll keep going, and then I'll have one to the proper width that I can use basically as a gauge to cut the other two. There it is. Okay, so here's my length. This is the square edge off the saw. I'll just make one pass to make sure that that is trued up. Or two. I'm going to double check it. That looks good. Let me just make sure what I'm doing here. At any rate, you understand what I'm doing. I'm just getting these cut to length, making sure they're square, and then I'll cut them to width. Okay, I've got my outside cutter for my dado stack in here. I'm just going to use it as a rip blade. What I did was I set my angle using my template to get it approximately where I want it. I guess I'll put it that way. It's about 7 degrees. So I'm going to make this rip cut and then test fit it in my shelf here and see how it looks. I've got plenty of width to work with, so I can make adjustments here. That looks good. 7 degrees it is. So the next cut I'll make is this one. I'm going to make it tall and finish it off with a block plane. But this, I got to make sure I got this going the correct way. So the taper is, yeah, that way. This one's running like this, and so this one has to run that same direction. So I'll move my fence over, get it close. there's my front. I'll get the two shelves cut to width here, or close. Then I think I can, I'll dial up these dividers in here. Okay, we're getting closer. All right, after some shooting board work, I've got some nice fit joint here, some nice fitting joints here, and it looks like they'll go together quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these four pieces together first. Then I'll glue that sub-assembly to the sides and let that sit for a bit. I've still got this little bit of open joint right here. I'll have to fill that. But I like that fit so far. Then the front piece comes in like so. Okay, and that'll go in last. That's a nice joint. That's very close to being flush right there. Nothing that little sandpaper won't take care of. Okay, that's quite a few clamps for a little project. These clamps are pulling this front face tight to the bottom. These obviously are pulling everything down this way. Then I've got two clamps over here. Even though this subassembly was somewhat cured, I put these on after the fact just to make sure that I keep that tight. And we'll just let it cook for a good hour at least. I'll come back and try and get the glue off, you know, as it kind of skins over. I don't want it to get rock hard. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I've got a couple of little gaps. Like I said, I've got that one in this corner and a little bit down here on the front face. Otherwise, everything looks pretty good and tight. Alright, I've got this cleaned up and it's looking pretty good. But I want to have a way to fasten this to this frame. And what I'm going to come up with is, I'm kind of making this complicated here, but I've got a piece right here that's going to go in between. I'm going to fasten it with dominoes, and I've got the line on the top side, which means I have to flip it over for this small part domino. Got it in my jig here. What I'm going to do is build this, make it this a frame so I can recess this panel into it. Give it a little strength that way. And I'm using these small, I don't know what size they are. Let me look here. 5mm dominoes. So let's just see if I can get this to work. So I'll cut this piece, then have to take this apart and do these two and put it together. I'm also going to domino these two cross pieces that are 3/4 of an inch thick. This measures a fat 3/8. Alright, that might be alright. So I'll flip it around, but when I flip it, I've got to change my registration here to the other side. So 25 on this side. Just right on 25. And this side should come over to about 10. Double check that. Yeah, that's a little off. Just got to go a little further this way. Right there. Okay. Make sure I'm moving the right one here. This one needs to come back. Okay. Okay, goes this way. Let me get these two pieces cut and see how she goes together.